Probably the most popular question, and I repeat, the most popular question in visual astronomy and astrophotography is, what telescope should I get? Or what telescope is that? In this video I'll be discussing on the things that you need to think about when it comes to purchasing your very first telescope. I will show you different options and different types of telescopes for different purposes in hope that it will make your decision much easier. The what telescope should I get question makes me smile because it reminds me of me, when I didn't have any clue about this hobby and I was so excited and ready to look up at the night sky. I saw what other people saw and their images on the internet, and I just wondered, what telescope is that? And let me be clear, there is nothing wrong with asking that question. It is an important question. Taking a leap into astrophotography and visual astronomy is scary, I know, but there is not just one easy answer for it. First of all, this hobby is not cheap. The equipment you see in this hobby are delicate and complex instruments that are designed for you to see the wonders of space. And every one of us has a budget, how much you can invest on a telescope. And this goes for a lot of things in life, but simply it is just not recommended to invest all your savings into just one really expensive telescope. There are many cheap alternatives which will reveal the true night sky to you. And in the beginning you can't really know, will this become your passion for life? Or you get hooked at the very start. Maybe you'll get a telescope and you try it for a few months and then you realize that it really wasn't your thing. In that scenario, you didn't lose a bunch of money if you didn't get something, expensive. So at the beginning, it's important to take things slow. Then you'll need to figure out your area of interest. Do you want to look at the planets and the moon? Or do you want to observe deep sky or take photos of deep sky? And this is critical when choosing your telescope because what you want to do or look at will determine the type of telescope you should get. And for a disclaimer, if you are a complete beginner, my recommendation is to get first a telescope just for visual observing. Now I will tell you about different types of telescopes. So there is reflector telescopes, refractor telescopes, and then there is catadioptric telescopes. Reflector telescope uses mirrors to reflect light into focus. And refractor telescope uses lenses to bend light into focus. And then there is catadioptric telescopes which uses a combination of both lenses and mirrors. And then there is different designs that fall into these three categories. This may be complicated, but I'll do my best so that anyone can understand. Let's first go through reflector telescopes. The most common designs of a reflector telescopes are Dobsonians and Newtonians. These telescopes are also called light buckets, and it's a Spartan name for them, big tubes with big mirrors inside them. These telescopes usually goes from 5 inches to 16 inches in aperture, and it's fairly common for a reflector to be less expensive type of telescope. The biggest difference of these two is that Newtonian telescopes can be mounted in various ways, including equatorial mounts, which allows for tracking celestial objects as they move across the sky. Versus Dobsonian telescopes are mounted on a very basic alt-azimuth mount. It allows simple movement up and down and side to side, making it user-friendly, especially for beginners. Dobsonians are popular for visual observation due to their large apertures and affordability. They are typically not suited for deep sky astrophotography due to their lack of tracking capabilities. Some of them are computerized Go-to Dobsonians, which have tracking capabilities accurate enough for lunar and planetary recordings. Very popular Go-to Dobsonians are Skywatcher, Skyliner models. Newtonians are versatile and can be used for both astrophotography and visual observation. Then we have refractor telescopes. These telescopes are compact portable and very popular in astrophotography. Refractor telescopes comes in many different sizes, prices, and with different glass elements, plus how many glass elements are inside one. Refractors are usually more expensive compared to reflector telescopes with similar aperture. You can do astrophotography and visual observing with a refractor telescope. One downside with refractor telescopes is that they are known for producing chromatic aberration, which can appear as color fringing or as halos. But there are options that are apos. Apo stands for apochromatic. These scopes suppresses the chromatic aberration. When we are talking about refractor telescopes, there are doublets, triplets, quadruplets, and quintuplets. And that means how many glass elements there are inside one. And then there are catadioptric telescopes, which uses both lenses and mirrors. The most popular one is a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, like this one. It has a lens in the front, which is a corrector. Then the light reflects off a primary mirror to the secondary mirror, which leads to the eyepiece or the camera sensor. Schmidt-Cassegrain telescopes provide a lot of focal length in a short package. Yes, the bigger ones get really massive, but usually beginners get an 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain. Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope is excellent choice for observing and photographing the moon and planets. Now that we have gone through popular and different telescopes, here are my thoughts and recommendations. If you are a complete beginner, my recommendation is to get first a visual reflector telescope, maybe a Dobsonian, just because its price, convenience, large aperture, and it will give you stunning views to the solar system and deep sky. Another great choice is a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, especially those which comes with mounts. For example, the Celestron NexStar series. Those are really good at showing you planets and the surface of the moon. So at first I would recommend to do purely visual astronomy and take some pictures with your phone through the eyepiece. When you are ready for deep sky imaging, aka astrophotography, then I would recommend to get an apo-refractor telescope or a Newtonian telescope. If you go straight to deep sky astrophotography, the learning curve goes straight up. For the conclusion, the what telescope should I get question is impossible to answer universally. Everybody has different goals and different budgets. I hope that this video made sense to you and it helped you learn more about telescopes. Most importantly, I hope that this video answered your question, what telescope should I get? Clear skies.